Okay, we are live. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for waiting. We're going to get started in just a second. Okay, Jessica, take it away.
All right. Well, welcome everybody. We're very excited to have you here today to explore how to claim your unclaimed funds. It's a very important process for you to know. Most of us, many of us, have funds hanging around out there somewhere. And for sure, the Unclaimed Funds Department of the Department of Commerce is a trusted and reliable way for you to explore it. So the Better Business Bureau is very excited to be able to partner with the Department of Commerce and the Department of Unclaimed Funds in bringing you legitimate, verified information to help you track down money that might be yours. First, though, we'd like to give you a little bit of a look around the new BBB. So next slide. There we go. Most importantly, we want you to know that this is your BBB. BBB is your first line of resource to check out businesses, to file complaints, to get solutions, to start your businesses, to have business resources. All around, this is your BBB. Next slide. And we are up and growing and better than ever. We are the Better Check Here First Bureau. If you have any hesitations, if you're thinking of signing any contracts, if you're spending any money of any significance out of the norm, you want to check at the Better Business Bureau. You want to look for an accredited business, and you'll see the BBB torch. That's the sign of a better business. Next. And you can look for it. So be sure to find that label. You might find it on the side of a vehicle of a service person. It might be on a website. It might be on advertising. It might be in a booth at a trade fair, trade show. But you can go beyond that. If you're unsure and you're not seeing the signs, next slide. We want you to start your decision-making process by starting with trust. So we want you to go to bbb.org. You'll select what area of Ohio. I am with Better Business Bureau of Central Ohio. There are multiple other bureaus that may be serving your area. We represent a 21 county footprint. Go to bbb.org, select your area. There you can look up any business, not necessarily only accredited businesses, but all businesses. You can check out the reviews, check out the ratings, and check out how the business responds to the reviews and ratings. It's the sign that will instantly tell you if a business is honest. Additionally, we're getting a lot of questions about scams, and often even with unclaimed funds, this might pop up as a scam. It's a very real thing. So to check if that is actually what's going on, we encourage you to look at our bbb.org/scam tracker. It is a nationwide initiative with Capital One and Amazon from the Better Business Bureau Institute for Marketplace Trust. It allows you to go in, check out what scams are hot and trending at the moment. Check out if you've been being targeted with a past scam. And you can also there file your own recording of scams you've encountered, whether you've fallen victim or not. We want you to report it so we know what's coming up. We can report it up to the Attorney General's office. We can present fact patterns. And every year we make a report to say what is on the rise, what people should watch out for. And that Scam Tracker Risk Report will actually be coming out on Monday. So we encourage you to visit back at bbb.org then. Next slide. This Scam Tracker has been voted the best scam fighting tool in 2023 by the Global Anti-Scam Alliance. So it is very relevant, it is timely, and it is something that can help you and help protect you. Now, without further ado, we want to turn this over to the trusted Department of Unclaimed Funds. And we want to introduce Marlene Jukes. She's the Deputy Superintendent for the Division of Unclaimed Funds, where she's responsible for developing policies and procedures for the division and advising the superintendent to ensure that the mission, goals, and objectives are met. Also hosting with us today is Susie Wagner, who's the Outreach Administrator for the Division of Unclaimed Funds. It's her job to ensure you, as an Ohioan, understand and know about unclaimed funds and can claim your money. We'll have questions, time for questions throughout this presentation. Type them in the chat box or in the message box. You should see that in the lower bar. And without further ado, thank you so much. I can't wait to learn more about unclaimed funds.
Thank you, Jessica. And so the whole reason we are here today is because $3,021, that was the average claim amount for last year. So we're not talking about pennies, and this could be you. So we are going to share with you exactly what you need to do to see if you have money today.
So in unclaimed funds, we have last year in 2023, we processed we paid out 43,000 claims, and we returned over $130 million last year.
And so for today, we're going to go over what exactly is unclaimed funds, the 3 easy steps to claim them, the timeline, and how you can look up the status of your claim.
So most people wonder, what are unclaimed funds? Unclaimed funds are lost or forgotten monies and inactive accounts. Businesses are required to report those to the Division of Unclaimed Funds every year, and we keep them for your safekeeping. So basically it's inactive checking accounts, savings accounts, any refund or credit balances you may have. There could be uncashed cashier's checks, life insurance, benefits, stocks and bonds, or safe deposit contents, and we get those funds every year.
And so there are 3 easy steps to claim your funds. We're going to go over each step. The first is just to search for your unclaimed funds, search your name to see if you have any. The second is to review that checklist of documentation to make sure that you are providing us with the right information to verify you are the rightful owner. And then step 3 is just to send us your claim. It's that easy.
So when you go to our site at Unclaimed Funds or missingmoney.com, or you can go through unclaimedfunds.com and find and search for your missing money. But the first step is missing money. That site is legit. We back that site several states. You can actually search for money through I think at least 30 to 40 different states. File unclaimed funds on here. So the first thing you want to do is go to that search box, put in your name, your first or last name. It's easier if you narrow it down to your city or your state, and you'll see it'll give you a summary. It'll allow you to see if you're there. It'll tell you if you have unclaimed funds. So it's a very easy site for you to use. It's really, you can go on there all the time. I would suggest you check it maybe every quarter because we're constantly getting unclaimed funds in.
And I would add that Social Security card is on here as a reminder. We do not need your Social Security in order to search for your unclaimed funds. So you, once you are in this, the step 1, if you find a claim there that matches your name and an address where you have lived, you will then enter in all of your contact information. Social Security number is a field on that form. You do not have to input it, but we will require it once you do send in that documentation, and I'll explain in just a second. So we get a lot of people asking about Social Security cards. That's why I was wanted to make sure that we talked about that for a second. You don't need it initially in order to create that claim form, okay? So step number 2 is that checklist of documentation. And this is an excerpt from our website. There's different tabs, as you can see. If you scroll through those tabs on our website, you can see the information exactly what we will need from you in order to prove that you are the rightful owner. So owner is if you're the owner of the claim. Joint owner, it's you and someone else owns that claim. If you're a guardian, you're claiming on behalf of someone. An heir, if you're claiming on behalf of a deceased person. Trust, business, government, and international claims. We have claim instructions right there that you can click on that go into detail more if you have any questions.
So if you find your name on a missing money site, for all claim types, the beginning, so sometimes a lot of people are hesitant because they are, well, I don't know if I have this, but the main documentation for all claims that we ask you to send in is your unexpired driver's license, a state photo ID, a passport, or U.S. Department of Defense ID, anything government issued ID to prove that you are who you say you are. We need a proof of the address for the property that is reported on the claim form. If you don't have that, just send in all that you have. But if you have anything that had like a utility bill, bank statement, any old property tax forms, that proof will substantiate the address that the business reported to us. And then, of course, we need a proof of your social security card. It could be on a W-2 or some 1099. And we also ask that you fill out a W-9 tax form as well. So those are the four most important things. So if you're not sure whether you have enough information, send those 4 items first, and then one of our claims processors will be contacting you if they need additional information.
And so we get this question a lot as well. If you are claiming on behalf of a deceased person, there is a few more pieces of documentation that we do require. We need to make sure that this money is going to the rightful owner. And so you may need a death certificate, a marriage certificate if the deceased was your spouse, a birth certificate if it was a parent or sibling. We have the table of heirship form, which is provided on our website. You may need a probate court order, and it must be filed within 2 years of filing the claim. If the probate of the estate has been closed, you will need to reopen that probate order. That is part of the process for filing on behalf of a deceased person. We also may need the estate's EIN tax identification number. If you have any questions about any of this, please don't hesitate to give us a call. We are here and we want to help you proactively make sure that you have all the right information the first time you send it to us, so it will help you get paid out quicker.
So the third step in getting your claim form to us, because when you go to the missing money site, sometimes people are confused. It'll say, yes, your claim has been submitted, but that means it's just going to email you the claim form. And so what we need for you to do is sign the claim form and then upload any additional documentation, your driver's license, your W-9 form, and proof of the address that the business that's printed on the claim form. So we have 2 ways that you can do this. We do have a document upload on our website that you can scan the documents in, upload it to us, put in your claim number, which should be emailed to you, your first and your last name, and we'll start, processing your claim form along with the others, so you don't have to go through the mail. But you can always mail it to us at Ohio Division of Unclaimed Funds, 77 South High Street. But please include your claim number on your documents. And if you're sending documents through the mail to us, any critical documents, cashier's checks, but please keep a copy of the documents that you send into our office.
So those are the 3 easy steps. Now you filed your claim and you're wondering how long this is going to take to get your check in the mail. So we do want to say and let you know that it can take up to 120 days for us to initially review your claim. We are backed up right now. We have lots of claims that we are looking at, and our staff is working extra hard to make sure that they review, and they're reviewing, by the way, every piece of paper and documentation that you send in or upload to our website. So it takes some time for us to review all of that information and make sure that we have everything that we need and we can verify you are the rightful owner. Once we have reviewed and see that we have everything that we need, we will approve your claim and that check will be mailed to you. So you will get that check in the mail. That is the only way that you will be paid for your claim.
Right. But like Susie said, yeah, it takes a long time. Right now, we have about 13,000 claims in our office waiting to be reviewed. So that process is, and our claims team, we've been working overtime for the last 4 or 5 months. Trying to catch up, but just the mere volume, and just because we're doing a lot of outreach and advertising, we're getting a lot of claims. And like Susie said, we have to look at every document that you send in. But once you send your claim form in, if you want to know to check on the status of your claim on our website, you can also go to our website, unclaimedfunds.ohio.gov, and check on your claim. So you can go to our website, put in your
unclaimedfunds.ohio.gov.
.ohio.gov. I'm sorry, I always miss that part. unclaimedfunds.ohio.gov. Put in your claim number on the screen, and it will give you the status of your claim. And so sometimes a lot of people, it'll keep, if it's still waiting to be reviewed, it'll just say claim is being processed. Like I said, our claim processing times are very lengthy right now. We're hiring more people and we just have a lot of claims in here. So the process is taking a long time, but we do look at every claim and we will get it to you as soon as possible.
That's right. And remember, we paid out $139 million last year to so many thousands of claimants throughout Ohio. So, and that average claim amount was $3,000. So you could be one of those people. So I don't want to discourage you. Please, continue to file your claim and reach out with any questions that you might have. So we do have an exciting announcement that next year we are getting a system upgrade, and that should help really move things along. And it's just going to be an exciting new announcement with lots of more details I will share next year. So know that that is coming, and we are working on making things better and the processes work better for everyone who files those claims. And so with that, we are complete with the webinar portion in terms of, explaining the 3 easy steps and going over. If you have any questions, let's look in the live Q&A and see if there's any questions we can answer while we're here. Will there be a copy of the presentation available for download? Yes. Yes, we have this posted on our website at unclaimedfunds.ohio.gov. There's the website address right there. And let's see, I also wanted to show we have a phone number and an email address that you can contact us. It's claims@com.ohio.gov, and there's our phone number, 614-466-4433. We are here. You can call and speak to a live person, and they can review your claim information and see and answer any questions that you may have. Okay, we have some other questions. What is the website?
You too.
Yes. What is the website
team?
address?
Quick question for you. Who should be checking for unclaimed funds? And who can you check on?
Oh, anyone. Yeah. You can,
Go ahead.
anyone can check for unclaimed funds, and there could be, you can check for your mom, your sisters, your cousins. You can actually, just go on the site and say, oh, mom, and get the claim form printed out and emailed to you, and you can give it to your family member, or whomever, so.
Okay. And you mentioned that we do need documentation in order to verify that we're legit and honest in trying to make that claim. Some of these forms are sensitive documents like birth certificates, death certificates, etc. Do we send a copy of that? Or what if somebody wants to hang on to the original birth certificate of their mother as a keepsake? How do we ensure that that cherished document can be saved?
Right. So we only request a copy of the document, and on the document, it normally, like once you copy it, we can see whether it's been copied or original. So definitely we only want copies of the birth certificate and death certificates, because our retention policy, we after 60 days after the claim has been paid, we shred the documentation anyway. So please send us copies. One thing to also note too is we don't pay by name alone. So sometimes somebody will see their name, no, that was me. And there are a lot of people with the same names, unfortunately. So that's why we ask for a proof, whatever you can send us that can validate you are who you say you are, or you lived at that address. Send whatever it is that can be helpful.
Make a packet and send it in.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So how long do people have to claim funds? How far back can we expect to look?
Wow, we keep unclaimed funds forever, so they never go away. So even if you start processing your claim and for whatever reason you forget or you just didn't get around to mailing it in, we won't do anything. It'll just sit there until you come back and claim it and it's been paid. So we
could find that last check from an unpaid college job or high school job that we never picked up, or
yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's right. And the division was founded in 1968. So believe it or not, we have claims dating back that far ago. So you could be
it
an
really
heir.
could be a relative.
That's right.
Okay. That's really good to know. So how would we consider, like, from the business perspective, what do they have to file on, or so that the consumer can say, okay, this guy might have actually filed for me because they're obligated to? Is that there a dollar amount? If it's $20 they have to file it, $100 they have to file it? How do we know it could be there within that limitation set?
How do we know that the unclaimed property would be there?
Well, I'm thinking, you go back to your high school or college job. For example, I know that I have like $100 floating around out there somewhere because I wasn't able to make it back to that city to pick up a hard check. What if it was $20 or $100? Like, what is the onus on the business you may have worked for, or the person filing those claims to get those claims in, or when is it just let it go and don't worry about it?
Yeah. We have paid claims as low as 2 cents. So we collect any unclaimed funds. All business are to report any unclaimed funds that they have. So yeah, I've played out claims as small as 2 cents, believe it or not. Yeah.
Okay, well that's good to know. So nothing's too small to attempt to claim.
Yeah.
Or look for.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Susie, are there more questions from the crowd?
Just looking through. First question, my passport is in English and Spanish, but my driver's license is in Spanish. Do I have to translate that into English? Marlene, interesting question.
Yes, you do. Yeah, we will ask you to have that translated, an affidavit with that. So yes.
Okay, and yeah, someone did ask about filing for their business. So that is a great point. If you do own a business, we do encourage you to go ahead and look up to see if your business has any claims. So it's not just individuals. Businesses do have money. We've had different companies all over Ohio find money that they didn't know about. So you could be one of them as well.
You look that up under the company name or the owner's name, or is it a person or the company that you're searching?
So in missingmoney.com, you, in the field of last name, it says last name or business. So you
Okay.
just type in the business name. If you're looking up your business to see if there's a claim for you, if you type in your last name, that's going to look up any individual claims.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yes. And also another good point with that is if you are married, if you've been married a couple times, we've had people ask this question, you know, we encourage you to look up your name, um, your maiden name, if you've been married multiple times, look up all of the names that you have had, because if you've had any accounts in those names, you could have unclaimed funds waiting for you.
And so too would be any relatives that might have maiden names or changed names along the way.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I encourage that. I see it over and over where, you know, people will type in their name, their maiden name, and then look up their family members, right? And their maiden names. And it's so fun. It's a fun game to play, right? And see who has money. And then
It is
you
the
can let
modern
them
day treasure
know.
hunt, isn't it?
Yes.
An
Yes,
actual
it
chance
is.
at payout. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Are there any further questions from our audience, Susie?
What additional documents are required if claiming on behalf of a business or employer?
Good question.
Right. So that all depends what that business actually reported to us. So if they reported your FEIN and the address where you did business at and the name of the business, we would ask for proof of that FEIN, proof of that address, the name of your business. So you could send us in invoices with that. It probably would have maybe your tax ID number on there. Any agreements that you had, you know, to establish the business or dissolve the business, as much information that you can send us that validates that this is your business. We need proof that you would have the right to claim if you're not the owner or you're a representative. We would need something from the president or somebody in the company who says, yes, I'm able to claim these funds on behalf of this business. So if you're working for someone, you go, okay, yeah, I need a letter of authority. That's what the claims processor would ask, like, what gives you the authority to claim for this company? FEIN, the most common, most of the time, a dissolution agreement if the business has been dissolved. Sometimes people don't do that with some kind of agreement on how the business was dissolved or what are your rights to that property once it was dissolved. So those type of technical documents helps our processors, you know, go through your claim faster, prove that you are the person that could claim on behalf of the business or you own the business. If you were a sole proprietor, you know, sometimes your tax returns could show that, you know, how the business was handled through you. So any documentation, any invoices you have, any old agreements, documents, that will help us.
And we won't accept anything that can be printed from the internet.
No.
You know, we get things a lot that anyone can produce from the internet.
Yeah.
So we're looking for something that is a formalized statement with like that account number matching on it for your EIN, with the business name. We're looking for something that's really going to provide that proof. And I'm just showing on the screen our website, and this is the checklist of documentation. There is a business tab, so you can always review that. That has some information there, and then our claim instructions for business. So it's all listed here for those international. Someone was asking about international claims. Specifically, they asked, let's see. I already have contacted your office, but they just sent me back to instructions online, and I already have an appointment at the U.S. Embassy, but waiting time is 6 months. Will they be able to notarize and certify my driver's license? I can't speak to if the U.S. Embassy can notarize, but I know you can get notarized skills from your local bank. to be able to notarize any claim forms for us. Right now, we require a notarized claim form for anything over $1,000.
Yeah, and if it's an international claim, I mean, we do ask that it's authenticated, you know, with the U.S. Embassy or wherever you are, because, oh no, the lights just went out. So we do ask ask for that.
Okay.
Yeah, and one of the common things we see with business too, a lot of times they send us documents from the Secretary of State, and that's still a public basic website that, you know, and there's a lot of fraudsters out there. So we're not saying we don't believe who you are. We just need to validate, because we don't want to mistakenly give someone else's money. And so that we are very protective, and we want to make sure we're paying the rightful person. So that's why a lot of those documents from the internet that anybody can just go on and print this off, that it's, you know, we would feel like if you're a business, you would have like invoices and more documents that relate to your business to prove how you're connected to these properties.
Makes sense.
Yes,
Sounds with a little bit of legwork, you can accomplish quite a bit.
Yes.
that's right.
Can a parent do the filing process for an underage working child,
Yes.
a minor? Okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
All right, parents, get out there and get their unclaimed checks.
Yes.
Someone said that they file for business. What happens if we accidentally claim a property that isn't ours? If we are unsure to claim something, what is your recommendation?
Good question.
I would say put the property on your claim form, and once the processor starts reviewing your claim, and they'll just say, hey, do you have any document to prove? Because we don't know each property how much documentation the business actually gave us. Sometimes they give us a lot. Sometimes they give us your FEIN number and your address, or some other information that's related to, or we can reach out to the business and say, hey, what can you give us? But I would put it on the processor. Will let you know whether it's claimable, and then they'll say, you know what, this property doesn't belong to you, but we can pay the rest of the properties on your claim.
Someone said you hold the money forever, but I thought that at some point in time, unclaimed funds eventually escheats to the state of Ohio's general fund. That's not correct.
No, that is not correct.
That's right.
No, that is not correct. That might be true for some of the city, may have some unclaimed funds, some of the other smaller city, but for the state of Ohio, our unclaimed property stays here forever. Yeah.
Yes, and that may be true for other states as well.
Yeah.
Each state has their own laws. And
Yeah.
so we are governed by Ohio Revised Code 169. And so that requires us to hold and safeguard the money forever until that rightful owner is claims it. We have some more questions. Great. One claimant has a passport with married name, but driver's license and a voter ID has the single maiden name. What should we do about that, since you need 2 IDs for each claimant?
So that depends on how the property was reported to us. So if you're saying the property that was reported to us was in your maiden name, and you have your driver's license, if you could show us your marriage certificate, or your birth certificate that says, hey, this is who I am married now to this person. So we just need something to validate your old name. But usually that's the case. It's for ladies, female, no, their the property was reported in their maiden name. We just ask for a copy of your marriage license. That's simple enough, and we would go, oh yeah, that was, you know, that's who you used to be. Usually, I mean, most marriage certificates have your maiden name on there with your new married name.
Would you need the birth certificate and or marriage certificate of that claimant to show she is the same person? Okay, you just answered that. Okay. What else? Large retailers often close locations and open in new address locations. Could be hard to prove an address that is many years old. Suggestions in this case. Great question.
Yeah, so we have that a lot. And so we do have access to software that we can use to try to validate an older address. So our processors will go, we have, they will try to assist you in finding, something that proves that old address. So, but just send in whatever you have. I would just say, send it in, you can even put like this address, this business existed 25 years ago. We can do some research. We do have researchers that kind of try to make sure we can help. This business used to be this. We'll reach out to, if it was taken over. So send in whatever you have. We really do try to make sure we connect the dots so we understand some of those addresses. So the older properties are really hard for our examiners to work with, because we know like some banks have been acquired by different, his name has gone to this and that and it's this. But we've worked with a lot of the businesses and they're able to assist us too. So yeah, just don't do it because you don't think you could prove that address. Like I said, we have access to software here that they can go and try to research that former address for you.
And we have one more question. So if you have any questions, please get them in right now. I'm seeing, can you explain more about claiming for a deceased relative that went through probate?
So yeah, that's a common thing. So you need to have letters of authority from the probate court, and the probate document needs to be at least within 2 years. So say if you filed a claim today, your letters of authority should be dated at least by 2022. Okay. And we can, if you have a closed estate, you can go back to the probate court and say, hey, I have newly discovered assets and I'd like to reopen this. Sometimes, I mean, not trying to talk for the probate court, but I don't know what the whole real process is, but I know we always get that. They can go to the probate and say, I have newly discovered assets. I need to reopen this estate to claim those properties. And basically that's what we need.
Okay. This one, what happens if the company that reported your property did a typo and the address or the name and sent completely invalid kind of, yeah, there's a typo in it. This does happen. So that's a great question.
Yeah, it does happen a lot. And so that's why it's important. Any documentation that you have that says, hey, no, this is me and I had an invoice or a statement from this bank with this name and this address, and we can look at it. I mean, there's sometimes we just have to, use our judgment and go, yeah, that is you. Sometimes they pay, they may send us other information. So even if it is wrong and they've sent, they may have sent your social security number into us. That's why sometimes that's important, because they may have given us that and we can match that if there was a typo, especially in the older properties we've seen that a lot, because I'm sure 20 years ago, most of this stuff was, entered in by hand and wasn't electronically, but yes, we've had that happen with transpose. We've had the name transpose, and we have connected the dots a lot of times and have been able to pay claims because there was a typo. We'll reach out to the business as well, and sometimes they're able to, give us additional information.
You get a denial letter. Is there a way to appeal?
Yes. So we do have, so if you do get a denial letter, we try not to deny many claims. Mostly our first steps are saying, hey, can you find any additional information? We'll do this. But if we do say, hey, this property is not, you're not the reported owner of this property, we'll send you a denial letter. We have what we call a 119 process. First, you can, either we can have a informal hearing with our division counsel and our superintendent, and they'll look at all the facts and make a determination, or then we'll go outside and we'll have someone from the Attorney General's office sit in and review your documentations and then make a decision.
Are there any other details that you think would be useful to our community? Or takeaway highlights, top 3 things to remember that you'd like to encourage folks to jot down?
Yeah, the top three things is send in a copy of your driver's license, social security card, the W-9, sign your claim form, notarize your claim form, and any documentation that can prove not the current address that you currently live, the address that is printed on your claim form next to the property. Those are the main two. Sometimes people get confused and they send us proof of their current address. We need proof of that address that's reported with the claim. So those are the main things, because the processor will look at it. Sometimes the information that's on the claim form, we may have more information in our system, or we can reach out to the business and get additional information or do our own search. So if you give us those 4 major things, that helps us a lot to even start the process.
And I would also just add, if you have questions, just reach out, reach out and reach out and call us. We want to help you. And so there, as you can tell, there's so many specific and different situations that everybody has when claiming their funds. So just don't hesitate. Give us a phone call. We can walk you through what we need. You can always send an email if you prefer email. So just proactively ask those questions so that you're sending us the right information the first time. That's, if anything, I can stress, that would be the takeaway from today's webinar. If you do that, you will be golden.
Right. And
All
I
right, so
was
everybody in the audience.
Yeah, I was
Everybody in
specifically
the
asked.
audience.
Send in, ask questions, but the first step is get your information. And once a processor has reviewed your claim, that is the best point. If once it's in the review process, they can give you better details. When it's just waiting and it's been here and received, our support staff, they really can't answer a lot of questions because they have no idea what documentation you sent in, what all the other details. So if you call in to our front desk and your claim has not been assigned to a processor, it's going to be hard for them to give you a real answer other than probably maybe you might need. So once your claim has been assigned to a processor, though, that's your best chance to get some real direction on your claim. Because like I said, we got 13,000 claims here. So if you initially call in and you're asking them they'll give you a cursory overview of what our instructions say. But if an examiner has reviewed it or is in the process of reviewing it, they can give you more detailed explanation of how to prove the funds belong to you and what documentation they need.
So everybody in the audience, now is a great time to take a screenshot, do a quick snip, take this image and tuck it away for your future reference. We absolutely thank you both, Marlene and Susie, for partnering with us at the BBB to bring this really valuable information to our communities in a way that's clear, simple to understand, and truly helpful and legitimate. We're so thrilled to work with you. For any businesses in the audience or folks that are working at a business or in a leadership role, BBB and the Department of Commerce will once again be partnering to bring you filing your unclaimed funds. The flip side of this equation, how to do it most efficient way, easy ways to do that. If you have unclaimed funds, you are responsible for filing them. And we will bring this information to you to help you navigate the process later this fall. Before that, if you are looking to manage other aspects of businesses, I would encourage you to go to bbb.org. At least our bureau is hosting several upcoming webinars that are meant to assist businesses out there for filing mandated information for LLCs coming up. That will be tomorrow. So you go to bbb.org, put in Columbus or Central Ohio, and then go to events, and you'll see some of our webinar information coming up that is quite good. So we're here to help you. The department is here to help you. And we very much are so happy and consider ourselves fortunate to be such part of such a great community.
With that, we will say goodbye for now. Thank you, everyone, for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you.